If you want a lightweight, travel-friendly toothbrush that can deliver good clean results, the Curve Sonic from Burst is a decent choice, helped by its competitive price point. I like the curvature of the brush handle. Not only does it look unique, but it does actually help reach the back of the mouth. The travel cap and travel mode feature are good, as is the USB Type-C charger. The main negative here is that the long battery life comes at the sacrifice of cleaning power. I will be the first to say that when using a toothbrush, your brushing technique, time and frequency are more important than the power of the brush, but power does play a part. The lower powered sensitive cleaning mode is extremely gentle. I actually found it quite ticklish on the teeth and gums. I acknowledge that if you have sensitive teeth and gums, many brushes can be too powerful, and I think Burst has you covered here. It is one of the most gentle brushing modes I have felt. The sensitive mode here is far more gentle than the same so-called mode on their original and Pro Sonic brushes, yet supposedly has the same number of bristle movements. I prefer the more intense whitening mode on offer. The consequence is not getting anywhere close to the advertised 75 days of battery life. I managed just 18. For a toothbrush aimed at travellers, I'd hope for a bit better battery life on the more powerful mode. Now, compared to popular Sonicare and Oral-B models, this isn't terrible, and given the size of the brush, it's arguably fair. I do perhaps wish Burst were a bit clearer about the massive variance here. The slimmer Sucas Spark offers a comparable cleaning experience and around twice the battery life. Thankfully, recharging the battery is easy. Burst supplies a USB to Type-C cable, but no USB plug adapter. If you prefer to charge from the wall outlet, you will need to source an adapter, but more than likely you own one already. The USB charging makes it super convenient and easier for international travel. You can charge it from a USB socket on a laptop, computer, from a battery bank, and a USB wall outlet, amongst others. A red light is lit when the power is low and when charging. It will disappear when fully charged. Available in 3 colour options. I like the cobalt blue I have. Black and rose gold are the other colour choices, and a nice alternative to the classic white colour. The diamond texture from the original and Pro Sonic are carried over to the Curve, as is the smiley face on the power come function button. The pattern adds a texture which enhances the look, but also the grip you have on the handle. You need to press and hold it to change between the 2 modes. You get used to this, but when most other brushes require a single press, it takes a bit of getting used to. The Curve boasts 2 of the 3 features I recommend. It has a 2-minute timer and a pacer, but lacks the dentist recommended pressure sensor. By no means a deal breaker, most brushes at this price point do. Just be sure not to brush too hard. I've gotten good cleaning results from the Curve. I prefer the cleaning action and results to other travel-friendly alternatives, including Quip and Philips One by Sonicare. They require far more input from me to get the best plaque removal. It isn't a game changer, but as suggested earlier, the curve to the handle can make reaching the back teeth a bit easier. It flows more naturally with the curve of the teeth in the jaw. The Curve uses different heads from the other Burst models, but the design is almost identical. I could feel the tapered bristles getting in under the gums. They are far more tapered and of varying lengths than most heads. Even as an experienced user, it can initially feel a bit odd. So if you're new to electric brushes, it is something to be aware of. It works well, but might take a week or so for your gums to desensitize. The top tip here is to use the more gentle cleaning mode as you do. I'm not a big fan of the X-shaped component to the head. I believe it is there to help polish the teeth, but I found it can make for a less smooth brushing experience. Not a huge issue, you get used to it. Kudos to Burst for offering just one style of brush head and not a confusing array of options like big name competitors. If you are travelling for extended periods, do consider buying and packing some spare heads. You can't go and buy them from the grocery stores and pharmacies like you might with Oral-B and Philips equivalents. By no means a reason to avoid the curve, but toothpaste residue does collect at the base of the brush head and along the mouldings the removable cap attaches to. It is easily rinsed or wiped off. Weighing just 2.8 ounces including the travel cap, the Curve is light. It is a bit slimmer and not quite as tall as most brushes. Even if you don't travel, this could be a nice option if you struggle with bulkier and heavier alternatives. Producing up to 57 decibels of sound, it isn't the quietest, but it is certainly far from the noisiest too. The travel cap itself does the job and has vents at the top, which is great for letting the bristles dry out. It doesn't fasten as securely to the handle as I would have expected, but it shouldn't mean the cover will come off. Competitors' cases appear more secure. 4 quick presses of the power button lock and unlock the brush. This prevents any unwanted handle activations when in a bag, etc. on the go. Other brands should take note of this feature. It is so simple and useful. The retail price is $35 and replacement heads cost $7 to $8 depending on whether you subscribe or not. Over 3 years, you are looking at approximately $123 to own the Curve. Bitve and Aquasonic offer cheaper alternatives with better battery life, but they are heavier and generally bulkier. Quip and Philips One are as travel friendly and cost less, but the compromise is cleaning performance. If you want an affordable travel friendly toothbrush, you could do a lot worse than Burst.